Hi children, I am going to continue the lesson Industries in India. Now so far in first part 1 and second part we have learnt about some of the important agro-based industries and also some of the mineral-based industries and what are the types of industries. Now in part 2 let us see about the government policies in industries and what are the impacts of these government policies. Now, government and industrial development during early years. In India, a few large industries are owned by the government. That is, they are in public sector and others are under private ownership. And it is because, unlike Western countries which have capitalism, that is private ownership, and Eastern countries which have socialism, that is government ownership, in India we have mixed economy. That means we can see both government and private ownership also in India. And there are some reasons for this type of arrangement. Now let us see what are they. If we want large number of industries to be set up in India, the basic inputs must be provided for all these industries. And if the government invests in these basic goods industries, which provide means of transport, electricity, etc., all the private owned industries can make use of these basic inputs and can expand their industries very fast. And one reason for this was that these basic goods industries not only require huge investment, but they require long time to be set up. That means at least 5 years or 10 years. So private people are not willing to invest so much on basic goods industries. So the government had to take up the responsibility of starting these basic goods industries. For example, for setting up a power plant to produce electricity, it takes 5 to 10 years. In the same way, the government also took up the responsibility to provide infrastructure like building roads, providing transport services like roadways, railways, airways, etc., water supply. All these things are also provided by the government. And in addition to this, the government also imposed many restrictions to help the small producers. Many industrial activities like production of cloth of specific quality, craft production and small scale manufacturing that takes place at homes, these were restricted to only small producers. Workshops were not allowed to produce these things in factories. And further, it was made mandatory by the government to take prior permission of the government in the form of licenses to set up any factory. It was made mandatory by the government to get a license to start any factory or industry. And if one industrial unit dominates in producing specific goods, it may be possible that the producers may charge a very high rate for the products if there is no competition for them. If there is no other competitor in the market, the producers, they will be dominating in the market and they may charge a very high rate for the products. And keeping in view this problem and exploitation, the government also imposed some restrictions on the quantity of goods produced by the factories, and also for some goods the price at which they can be sold was also fixed by the government. Now let us see what are the emerging problems out of these industrial policies. As part of new industrial policy, when acquiring a license was made compulsory to set up factories, it became a great hindrance to the industrial growth. Those who aspired to set up industries had to wait for a long time to get the license or approval of the government office. And sometimes there was delay in the processes which indirectly led to bribing. If there was any delay, people used to bribe the people, and slowly whoever offers highest bribe, they were given the licenses. So like that it led to bribing also indirectly. And many a times this licensing system was misused by the people. And these licenses were not always given to the most efficient producers. And people with political influence or otherwise, or very rich people, they were given priority for granting these licenses to start the industries. And these people could get licenses for starting not only one industry but several industries. For example, a textile manufacturer, due to his political influence, manages to get a license for starting cement factory in which he doesn't have any efficiency. He doesn't know what is cement industry and how to manage it, but he gets a license for starting cement industry. In such a case, the people who are really skilled cannot get licenses. And this type of industrial policy discouraged many new entrepreneurs who wanted to invest and apply latest technology. And also one more thing, when the government controlled the prices of certain things, the producers were discouraged. They felt that there is no use producing more goods, and this led to shortage of goods. Even if they produce more, because the prices are fixed by the government, the limit was fixed by the government, they could not increase the prices of the goods. So they felt that it is no use producing more goods. And this led to shortage of goods. For example, if one has to buy a scooter, he or she had to book and wait for many years to get the scooter. After booking, the production was started actually, so it took long time to deliver the goods. All this was because of government's licensing policy. And the producers felt that if these restrictions are removed by the government, production will increase and there will be no shortage of goods. And another problem faced by Indian industries was lack of quality of some of the products. For example, topmost car produced in India was of least quality when compared to the cars produced by the common manufacturers in other countries. And it was mainly due to lack of competition among the Indian producers. There was no competition, so they never tried to improve the quality of their products. And also the restrictions imposed by the government on opening new factories, import and export of industrial goods, restrictions on buying new machinery. These were also responsible for this. And many felt that because of government's controls and restrictions only, the Indian industry was not making any technological improvement, and hence it was not modernizing. And on the other hand, the performance of government-owned factories was not up to the expectations also. They were not able to perform up to the expected levels. Now, new industrial policies. The government of India introduced some new industrial policies. Now, let us see what are they. A new industrial policy was introduced by the government in 1990s, and according to this policy, many restrictions imposed by the government earlier were removed, and restrictions on imports and exports were also relaxed. And many steps were taken by the government to encourage industries and especially new entrepreneurs. And to improve the efficiency of government-owned companies, government sold some of them. And now these companies could take their own decisions without government's interference because they were sold away by the government to the private people. These companies could take their own decisions. There was no interference of government. Also, these companies were deprived of the financial support from the government. So far, because they were under the control of the government, they were financed by the government. But now, since they were sold away to private people, there was no financial support also from the government. And according to this new industrial policy, foreign trade and foreign direct investment was allowed by the Indian government. Now, the MNCs could set up their production in our country. And these MNCs means multinational companies, they bring lot of investments with them and also latest technology with them. And this latest technology and these investments, they benefited the Indian industries. Now, the Indian industries could adopt this new technology and improve the quality of their production also. Now, let us see the impact of industrialization policies. There was a rise in number of many industries were started by the people and employment also increased. But most of the employees, today nearly 2 lakh large factories which are called organized manufacturing units, they are operating. And nearly 3 crore small unorganized manufacturing units are operating in India. But employment increased, but at low wages or low salaries. They are paying low salaries, not the prescribed salaries. And these industrial units, both large and small, they employ nearly about 1/5 of India's total 460 million workers. In India, there are total 460 million workers today. And out of these, 1/5 of the workers are in industrial units, the industrial sector. But many of them, they are being paid low wages or low salaries. Now see the pie chart. These pie charts, they show the employment in the three kinds of economic activities, that is primary, secondary and tertiary sectors. As percentage of total workers, it is shown. During 1970-73, you can see that in agricultural sector, 74% of the people were employed. Whereas by 2009-10, it decreased to 53%. In the same way, industrial sector, 11% of the people were employed, and it doubled by 2009-10. 22% are employed in industrial sector. And service sector, it also increased. 15% was there previously in 70-73, and 2009 and 10 it increased to 25%, nearly almost double. So we can see that the employment in agriculture decreased drastically, and industrial sector it doubled, and almost service sector also doubled. Also, an important goal of these industrial policies in India was to generate more and more employment opportunities in this industrial sector. And if the number of people who are employed in industrial sector increases, that indicates the development of the country. And to bring it into force, many laws were enacted by the Indian government. Many laws were made by the Indian government to provide better salaries to the workers, to provide safety to the workers, to provide safe working conditions to the workers, and also to ensure health and medical benefits. Many laws were made by the Indian government. And it was presumed that more and more industries would get established and most workers will get employment in these industries. But it did not happen in India. Even after 60 years or 70 years after independence, the share of employment has not gone up in industrial sector as much as it was expected by the industrialists. Many of the people, they are employed in small industrial units, and they are getting very low wages or salaries. And their working conditions are also not good. And they are not being provided any health benefits also. And also in contrast to this expectation, large industries, they started replacing the workers with technology, because when computers were invented, these computers were introduced in almost each and every field, and more work was being done by the computers. So many of the workers, they lost their jobs also. More and more automation has taken place, and this has led to zero additional employment in large factories. That means employment opportunities in large factories, they were almost zero. There were no more opportunities in large factories. And in large industries, workers were replaced by technology like computers, machinery, etc. And as a result of this, no employment opportunities could be created. Over the years, the production of steel, cement and other important raw materials largely increased. And this led to increase in the production of other allied products also. Now, increase in the environmental problems and pollution. As you know already, if we establish more number of industries, it leads to pollution. And how it leads to pollution also we have discussed many a times. First of all, these industries, they release a lot of poisonous gases during the process of production, and this pollutes the entire atmosphere, and it is hazardous to health also. And these industries also flow their waste into the water bodies, and this pollutes the water bodies. Even the underground water gets polluted. And all this leads to increase in the global warming and climate change. And this is the burning issue in front of the world countries at present. Now let us see some of the maps given in the textbook. See, the first map is textiles industry. You can see textiles industry is mostly textiles, cotton textiles, woolen textiles and 6 textiles are given. Cotton textile, it is mostly concentrated in Maharashtra and Gujarat. Of course, there are some industries in Tamil Nadu also. Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Maharashtra, Gujarat. Here, these are concentrated. And woolen textiles, mainly 3 places are in leading position in woolen textiles. And those 3 are, see the state of Punjab, Amritsar, Ludhiana, and the other one is not given here in the map, that is Dhariwal. These 3 places are famous for woolen textiles. Amritsar, Ludhiana and Dhariwal. And for silk textiles, we know wherever silk is found, Karnataka silk, Bengal silk, Mysore silk. You can see Mysore also here in silk textiles. And Benares silk, Varanasi. So all these are famous for silk textiles. Now see the other map. It is important minerals. Iron ore mines, iron ore exporting ports, and manganese, bauxite and mica. First see iron ore and mica, these are enough. Iron ore, you can see in the state of Odisha and Jharkhand. Iron ore mines are there. Keonjhar, Mayurbhanj, these are the important producers of iron ore. And also in Chhattisgarh you can see some. And in Karnataka also iron ore mines are there. In Kudremukh, we have already learnt about it in 5th lesson. Kudremukh iron ores in Karnataka. And this is exported through Mangalore seaport, which is the important seaport of Karnataka. So Karnataka, Chhattisgarh and also Odisha and Jharkhand. And only one is there in Maharashtra, that is Ratnagiri. And if we come to mica, see the mica mines, Bihar and Jharkhand, 2 are there. Gaya and Hazaribagh. Bihar, Gaya and Hazaribagh in Jharkhand. And in Rajasthan, there are 2 mica mines. And also in Andhra Pradesh, in Nellore, there are mica mines. Now move to the next map. It is coal fields and coal mines. You can see here, Bokaro, Jharia, Raniganj. Bokaro and Jharia, they are in Jharkhand, and Raniganj, it is in West Bengal. And Korba, it is in Chhattisgarh. And Singaroli in Madhya Pradesh. And Talcher in Odisha. And Singareni in Andhra Pradesh. And Naiveli in Tamil Nadu. Naiveli, it is famous for lignite coal fields. And another one, iron and steel plants. This is very important. The most important iron and steel plants in India, they are in West Bengal, Durgapur, Barnapur, and in Jharkhand, Bokaro, Jamshedpur, in Orissa, Rourkela, and Bhilai in Chhattisgarh, and Vijayanagar and Bhadravati in Karnataka, Salem in Tamil Nadu, and in Andhra Pradesh it is Visakhapatnam. These are the important iron and steel plants. Now the lesson is over, and as usual I am giving you the homework. Read full lesson underlining all the key points and practice maps in page number 7, 8 and 9 of the material when you get it, and complete the blanks with the help of this video, my explanation or the textbook. And after that I will be sending you the key. You can compare your answers with that.